The deeper we understand ourselves, greater is the chance to live a life which is fulfilling, which is peaceful, which is meaningful. And that is very, very important to understand this. When you look carefully in our normal way of going, we are not understanding ourselves. We carry many things in us, very conflicting factors, very uncleared factors, many things which are pulling us from different sides. And it all takes the life energy, it all brings confusion. So often we are on one side wanting to do certain things or be in a certain way, but parallel to it there are other factors which are dragging us in another direction, and we are not even aware that this is how it is happening in us. That is why once you understand that in order to live a meaningful, fulfilling, creatively deep and intelligent life, you need to start understanding yourself directly. Because what you read and what you hear as theories, as philosophy, as concepts about and around yourself, that is on the level of words and logic. That is not the real understanding. And you will see it more clearly when you consider that everybody is unique and everybody has unique processes happening in oneself. So all this knowledge is good in general to begin with, but when you want to really understand yourself, you have to start bringing the attention to that what is taking place in you. And the reminders which we are going to have are just around these two aspects. Turning the attention to oneself and to see, to feel, to be in touch with that what is really going on within us. One of the first things which I want to give as a reminder is something which I was coming across in my early life period. When I was still a student in the university, in the history book of India, there was something about Gautam Siddhartha Buddha. Just 2 lines, because he was the son of a king, that Gautam Siddhartha sought after the truth and wanted to know how to bring an end to suffering. And he came to the realization that desire is the root cause of sorrow. That was all what was written there. But when I came across this, it brought up a question in me, is it really so? And from that point I started looking in all situations when I was unhappy or disappointed or some kind of shadow state, some hurt feeling, some pain. I started looking, okay, is there any desire behind it in me? And as I stayed with it for a long time like that, I realized that it is so deeply true. And this is very valuable because once you see on your own, it's not a belief and it's not just a kind of general knowledge, but it is something which gives you also a chance, an opportunity to go differently with your life. For example, when you realize that the suffering is connected with your desire, and when you are not clinging to this desire, when you are ready to look at it and also let it go, then there is no basis for the suffering. Suddenly you can realize that you have, in a deeper sense, the freedom. You have also, in the deeper sense, the responsibility. So this is very valuable when you can realize this on your own. So the first reminder I'm asking you to work with in this period is, behind every shadow feelings which arise in you, unhappiness, sadness, hurt feeling, pain, disappointment, bitterness, or even which comes sometimes as anger and aggression. Look, is there a desire behind going on? And you have to be very plain. It's not just trying to go around it. You have to really look. Is there something I am holding to? Is there something which I want? A wish, a desire, a longing, an expectation? And in this way, when you can bring your attention to that what is deep within there as a desire and see that, then you also have the key to go on with the suffering, or also to let go of the suffering. And this is what makes the difference. When it becomes clear to you, when you realize that I am not a victim, it is not that I have no chance but only suffer and go through this whole mill of the life helplessly. But you have a chance, you have the responsibility, and you have the possibility to become free. And this is what is very decisive when you realize it, when you see it clearly. So this is the first reminder in all these situations where you come across any of the shadow feelings. Look, is there a desire working in me? What is the desire? What is the longing? What is the wish? What is the expectation? What is it that I'm wanting? And then look, are you clinging to it? Or are you also ready to let it go if it is only bringing you suffering? So you have to question and consider directly, deeply, and become familiar with that what really is going on. The second reminder is very much related to this, but approaching in a little different way, and it will also help towards understanding oneself. It is not necessarily to do with suffering or any problem, but in all your interactions, when you are saying something, listening to something, look, what is your intention? What is it that you are wanting from inside? The more clear you become of what is undercurrently your intention behind what is working in you, what you really want, you will also be able to understand yourself and understand the other in a much deeper and clearer way. And the beautiful thing is, when you can observe yourself in this way, you are not trapped in the automatism in you. You are having the chance to go differently. For example, when in a certain situation, having a conversation with somebody, you notice that there is some restlessness or irritation or feeling of unwellness, and you look, what is going on? Starting to look in this way, bringing the attention to that what is going on, suddenly you will realize that you are not caught in it. You are able to see it. The energy is not going in an unconscious way, pulling you from the darkness. You are with the energy process. You are observing it. And that is what gives you the chance to realize, for example, when you have a different intention than what is at that moment possible or that moment taking place, when you are seeing it yourself clearly, you can also express yourself in a more clear and effective way, because the communication becomes more creative and intelligent when you are also in touch with what is really going on in yourself. And this gives you a different clarity, a different strength, and enables the life and the connections to become more creative, more graceful. Because when you see yourself more deeply, spontaneously it also happens that you are also able to see and feel the other more deeply. You are able to consider the other. Otherwise, we are trapped in a tunnel way of looking, just projecting through our conditioning and interpreting it in a certain level. That is the automatism in us. But when you are bringing attention to see these things, what's going on, you are not bound by it. And then you start seeing and feeling factors which are around it. And that is what gives you a different integrity. You see that you are connected with the other in a deeper way, that in this interaction, the more present you become, the more creative and effective also the communication becomes. More deep the understanding of the situation becomes. And that will be very valuable when you experiment and realize it yourself. So work with these two reminders and allow it to be a help. It will be very supportive, very valuable, because the deeper you are in touch with yourself, as I mentioned already in the beginning, the greater is the chance to live a life which is fulfilling, which is liberating, which is allowing you to live a life of peace, gracefully, gratefully, celebrating life, recognizing the wonder that life is, and living with this awareness of the beauty and the uniqueness of the whole life process.